We want you to be a part of our NOTI gang. That's right. You're subscribed and you're getting notifications when Colts Talk videos are coming out. Hit that sub button first, click the NOTI bell second, and then hit the all option. You're going to get the best, latest Colts content sent right to you when you join our NOTI gang. Great to be back with you on Colts Talk. Billy Beebe talking about what the Indianapolis Colts have done free agency-wise, right? What a busy week last week for the NFL, for the Colts in general. Almost a dozen moves made, right around a dozen moves made by Chris Ballard and company, whether it be letting guys walk, free agency, or even trades. They were in the trade game too, so there's a lot done. And yet, there are so many names remaining for the Colts that I think we can take a look at for them to go after. Those names in just a second, but a light recap here. You get Colby Wooden in the Zaire Franklin trade. Blake Grupe will compete for your kicker spot. He returns after kicking 11 of 11 last year after adding him in December. Yes, Alec Pierce is back with the Colts. Arden Key, the edge rusher, joins Indianapolis. Is that your premier edge rusher? We're going to talk about that today. Daniel Jones gets a 2-year historic deal, $50 million guaranteed in year one of that one. That one's crazy. Michael Clemens, run stuffer. I don't know. Not a highlight one there. Jonathan Owens, we didn't get to discuss before I went on a light vacation, but yeah, you may be seeing Simone Biles in Indianapolis. That's right. Jonathan Owens, the boyfriend, I think his boyfriend, fiance, I can't remember, but of Simone Biles, the Olympian. Wanye Thomas also added. Not sure about adding players from the Colts or the Cowboys defense. I don't know if that's just don't do it. Colts also have re-signed Mo Alley Cox, who I'm a huge fan of. I think he does the dirty work really well for Indianapolis. And they've also signed Derek NOTI, who we will get on our list here soon at the defensive tackle position. So those are the quick additions. Should be noted at this point in time. Look, salary cap's very sketchy and interesting because it's like you have paid these guys, but you're trying to figure out, the future and what you can spend now. But as of right now, the Colts are actually a top 10 team in salary cap. I don't think they've made a crazy amount of moves like some teams have. And obviously the largest deal is the Daniel Jones deal. That's going to be $50 million guaranteed in year one. So that's kind of where the Colts stand, who they've added, where they sit salary cap wise. And before we get to my free agent targets, this point in time for the Colts, I come to you with the question and the opportunity. Drop a name. Tell me, who should the Colts sign in free agency right now? Before we get into my list, I want to hear from you guys. This will be our pinned comment down below. A.J. Epenesa is my first name. He will not be the last Buffalo Bill we'll talk about. However, you haven't really done enough at the edge rusher position, and that's going to be a minor theme for this list. Is I like Arden Key. I think Arden Key's okay. I don't think Arden Key should be the edge rusher you got this offseason, right? The big deal with Epenesa, you look at the edge rusher free agent market. Who's left? Who can help you? No doubt, there are bigger names, more productive names, more accomplished names. They're all 30+, right? If you want to get an edge rusher, it's probably going to be a 30+-year-old. Epenesa, right around 27 years old. I really like that about him. And it kind of makes me think where you look at guys like, even like a Jadeveon Clowney, and you think, what's he got left? What can he give us? You look at Epenesa, I ask, is this his best? Has his best yet to come? That's my big question with A.J. Epenesa and his stats. You kind of look at it, he's done pretty well avoiding injury. He's done pretty well being consistent for the Buffalo Bills, and especially his last 4 seasons. That's the big one I keep looking at. I wonder, and I might be crazy for it, I might be off base for it, I wonder if this year or next year is the pop year, the big year, the one that gets him an even bigger contract after that one. So that kind of interests me in A.J. Epenesa for the Colts to say, hey, let's go get a young edge rusher on a 1 or 2 year deal and swing for the upside, right? More than the he could help us this year. I like Arden Key. I think you need to make an addition. I'd be happier with Arden Key and A.J. Epenesa for you on the defensive line. We stick with kind of the needs for the Colts. Braden Smith walks away, actually remains in the AFC South. He is on his way to the Texans. So you're out on your starting right tackle last year. Jonah Williams would be a quality addition for you on the offense line. Former first-round pick. He's now played left and right tackle and a little bit of guard. Not much, but just a little bit. Now, you look at the offensive line. You're not deep, and you want to run Jalen Travis out there, and Jalen Travis played a little bit at right tackle last season. I would be fine. I'd say okay with Jalen Travis starting. However, you just don't want to walk into camp automatically and say Jalen Travis is your starter, and move on. Add Jonah Williams, add some depth, and add some competition, right? At the upside of this, Jonah Williams competes and beats Jalen Travis and wins that job. Downside of it, you have a former first-rounder, waiting if you need a left or right tackle. So you sign Jonah Williams. It's going to give you some depth. It's also going to give you the ability to have competition at right, specifically right tackle, with Jalen Travis, who played well last year and I think could win that job, but you don't want to just automatically assume you're good to go on the offensive line. Great example. Boom. We were in the middle of free agency, giving you guys great content, making signings, shorts, all that. Hit that sub button. That's year-round coverage. Yes, you got it during free agency, and you can have it all year long here on Colts Talk for free when you hit that subscribe button. All right, now it's time to get into the Michael Pittman replacements, right? You lost a big name in your wide receiver room, and Jauan Jennings is a guy that I think could fill that spot and or just shore things up in the wide receiver room in general. However, I will note right away, this is a bigger name in free agency. Maybe you're not as familiar with him, but that's where we're at in free agency. Jauan Jennings is one of the bigger names. You see there a little bit of bigger money for a guy like this. I've enjoyed watching him in San Francisco. I think he's fit that offense well. Obviously, 2024 was his big year, and then I thought he was solid last season. Now he hits the market. And I think his agent, everyone, they played it really, really well. I mean, they've let things fall where they fall, and he is now, according to both ESPN and I think just a lot of people's opinion, he's the best free agent left on the market. He is number one. They have played this perfect where it's like now teams are trading for Jalen Waddle. Those are your options at wide receiver, and then it's Jauan Jennings, right? My big thing, too, while his agent and he have done well, I don't know if his number matches what the market is willing to give, right? You saw about $20 million a year, maybe right around there to get Jauan Jennings. My question is, do they get in a situation where it's like free agency goes and goes and goes? Nobody's meeting your number. Nobody's getting close to your number. Next thing you know, old Chris Ballard, you guys have been calling him Bargain Bin Ballard, maybe he gets involved a little bit and throws him, hey, how about a 1 year, $19 million deal? Swoops in, makes something happen with Jauan Jennings. Definitely a name to keep an eye on, and a name you already know that we also have put on some of our lists and watch and this and that. Tyreek Hill. And the latest with Tyreek Hill hasn't been signed. No, Tyreek Hill has not been signed. And I asked our crew earlier today just to double check. I'm like, hey, Tyreek Hill didn't find a team, right? And same thing from Tom Downey and Aiden Priest. No, he did not find a team. And the big reason there, injury, character issues. Those are the two biggest things with Tyreek Hill. Thus, those are the two biggest things. You have to kind of cover one eye, right? And think about the past and championships and the cheetah and that, and not worry about a dislocated knee last season and 225 yards and, hanging out with Jake Paul and getting arrested before a game and all the crazy stuff that's kind of happened with Tyreek Hill. It is a knee and an ACL, and it's all intertwined. He recently said he's doing better and he's on track, but I believe he also noted he needs another surgery. So this definitely is not a guy that's coming in fresh, healthy, ready to rock. I warned you. I said you have to look past the injury and the character stuff with him. Once again, it's upside, looking for the upside, wanting the upside. That's what you're kind of get with Tyreek Hill. Why do I keep mentioning wide receivers? I know they have bigger needs. You lost a big chunk of what made your offense good. And I wanted Alec Pierce back. I said it was going to be part of it, letting Michael Pittman go or trading Michael Pittman Jr. You still have to replace Michael Pittman Jr. and some of you may say, oh, Alec Pierce will do it. I agree with you. I don't think Alec Pierce can take another 784 yards. I just think you need to make sure when you lose a big name wide receiver, you are adding to that wide receiver room to at least try and make up for that production. What do you guys think on Tyreek Hill? I pitched my situation there. I gave you my thoughts on where the Colts stand wide receiver wise. Should the Colts sign Tyreek Hill? Type Y for yes, type N for no. We finish out with Bosa. Joey Bosa, the final name on my free agent targets list as of right now for the Colts after what they've done in free agency. I already told you the first deal here, right? I like Arden Key. I don't like Arden Key alone as your pass rush, edge rusher addition for the offseason. I need those 5 forced fumbles on my defense. I love that stat so much. I also love the fact that Bosa played 15 games last year. It had been a minute since he'd done something like that. He would be great to have in your edge rusher room, with those other guys. And again, pair him with Arden Key, and I feel really good about what they've done. My big thing here, why do I think this could happen? Why am I still talking about this? Haven't heard much about the Colts being involved here. That's all fair and definitely makes sense. My thing in here and my question here, I guess, really is the Colts were a finalist for Trey Hendrickson, right? The final day. I mean, there are multiple rumors they had a deal done before the Ravens got involved. Are you just going to call it at that point in time? It's like we didn't get Hendrickson out on a premier edge rusher. Or are you going to pivot? Are you going to have a solid plan B? You should go from we didn't get Hendrickson to we should get Joey Bosa. That's my personal thought. It's around a 1-year, $13-15 million deal. So it's not like you're paying Bosa what you would have given Hendrickson. It's just a different option. However, this point in time, unfortunately, it seems as though the deal for Joey Bosa is to join his brother Nick. Predicted earlier today by Bleacher Report, they predicted he would head to San Francisco to join his brother. But hey, why not? Colts could get involved.